will continue. Then these are the examples, means these are the formulas and example with respect to that formulas. So first, what you do, you just write that formulas, you stick on your means in your study room, and whatever the problem related to that formulas, and from that section means those proportionate to age, that formula you collect and you do the practice. While means once you did the practice for that all the formulas, then automatically we will mug up that formula. Here I will give means here I means I am giving only 2 3 formula means problem for each formula. Okay, so second one is the dose proportionate to body weight. In dose proportionate to body weight, only one rule is there, that is Clark rule, which is equal to weight of child in pound divided by 150 into adult dose. Okay, what are the key points regarding that formula? Here the adult body weight is 150 pound. Okay, this formula is applicable until the patient weight is less than 150 pound. Okay, and 1 kg is equal to 2.2 pound. So 150 pound means 68.18 kg, which is approximately 17 kg. Sorry, 70 kg. So here adult weight is 70 kg. Okay, means that formula based on the body weight, it's applicable under only if the patient weight is less than the 70 kg. Okay, then the examples for this formula. The adult dose of a drug is 5 mg for 5 mg per kg body weight. What will be the requirement of a boy of 12 year in age weighing 21 kg? Okay, so here see, they gave extra data 12 year. Okay, and here they also gave the weight 21 kg. So we, if they giving weight, then you should go with the Clark rule. Okay, so Clark rule is equal to means if you are putting the value in that formula, then 21 divided by 70 into 5, which is equal to 1.5 mg. Means the boy having a age 12 year and having a weight 21 kg, for that boy, according to Clark rule, the child dose is equal to 1.5 mg. Okay. Then next, dose proportionate to body surface area. In that, uh, child dose is equal to body surface area in meter cube. Okay, this 3 is at the cube side. Okay, meter cube divided by 1.73 into adult dose. So body surface area of adult is 1.73 meter cube. Sorry, here this is not 2, this is 3. Okay, the dose of most potent drug means whatever the anti-cancer drug, uh, as we know that most potent drugs are the anti-cancer drugs. Okay, that all drugs calculated by means for that all drugs, the dose is calculated by using this formula. Okay, the example is if the adult dose is 173 mg per meter cube. Okay, body surface area, calculate the dose for child of 0.75 meter cube body surface area. If you are putting means after putting value in the formulas, it is 0.75 divided by 1.75 into 173 divided by sorry, which is equal to 750 mg per meter cube. Okay, here we complete means here we completed the posology. In that you means the basic thing is that you should have to mug up the formula, and according to that you have to calculate. Okay, means and here if they give extra data, then which formula you have to use, and for which problem, which is the formula means which formula is correct, that you should have to means remember or consider. Okay, now we move toward the next concept, that is posology. Sorry, proof spirit. In India, 57.1 volume of ethyl alcohol is considered to be equal to 100 volume of proof spirit. Okay, here what we means what we calculating, we calculating the percentage. Okay, strength of any alcohol. Okay, means any compound or alcohol in terms of proof spirit. Proof spirit is nothing but the 100%. Okay, means in India this is the volume. Okay, 51.7, that volume means 57.1% is exactly considered to the 100%. Okay, it means that proof spirit is nothing but it is the aqueous solution, okay, containing 57.1% volume by volume absolute alcohol, okay, is said to be proof spirit. Means if any solution or any alcohol which is 57.1%, okay, then it is considered as 100% proof, okay. Means with regard to that proof we considering it as a overproof or underproof, okay, that we have to calculate. And this formula means this problem asked for means GPAT as well as NIPER. So in that two rules are there, okay. First rule is that multiply the percentage, okay, percentage strength of alcohol by 1.753. This is the number, okay. With that number you have to multiply the strength whatever you are given in the question, okay. Then deduct the 100 per 100 from that product. Why we are deducting? Means to know the what means to know that whether that alcohol is means overproof or underproof. Then if the result is positive it is known as a overproof means, and if the result is negative then known as a underproof, okay. These are the basic means two rules. And that means with which value you have to multiply, that you remember. In proof spirit you have to remember that this is the value. By that with the help of this value you have to multiply the given strength, and then you have to deduct 100 from that product, whatever the product you are getting after multiplying with this number. Then from that you have to deduct the 100, okay. And after deducting the resultant value whether it is positive or negative, based on that if the value is positive then it is overproof, okay. And if the value is negative then it is underproof. We can means we take one example, then you get to know that, okay. Suppose find the strength of 95% weight by volume alcohol in terms of proof spirit, okay. By applying the formula. What is the formula? If we means if we this sentence if we convert in the formulas, then formula will be percentage strength of alcohol, means what is the means whatever given in the question, into 1.753 minus 100, okay. Then what is the percentage strength given in the question? That is the 95% volume by volume, okay. So 95 into 1.753 minus 100, okay. Then which is equal to 166.53 minus 100. And if we subtract 100 from this value, then it is 66.53, means this value is a positive, okay. Then overproof. Means what? This value is above the 57.1%, means which is equal to 100%. Means that value is, in case means in terms of proof spirit, that value is exceeding this limit, okay. So it comes means it which is known as overproof, okay. Then second means second example, calculate the real strength of. In that means in case of overproof problem, sometimes they will give the percent value. From that you have to calculate whether it is overproof or underproof. And in sometimes they will give means the value in the proof, means whether it is overproof and either it is overproof or underproof. Based on that you have to calculate the exact percentage for that value. In second example, you see they gave two values. One is 25% 25 overproof. This sign showing that means this is the sign used in case in the overproof and underproof. Okay, this is that is means this symbol. See, 25 overproof means 100%, 100 plus 25. Okay, why here 100? Because it is overproof, means it is above the 100. That's why we means we adding that 25 in the 100. So exact means the resultant value is 125. Okay, so alcohol strength is equal to whatever the value divided by 1.735. Here means while converting percentage strength means percent into proof spirit, you have to multiply with the 1.753. Okay, but while means calculating the exact strength for that means solution, then you have to divide 1.75 125 divided by 17735, which is equal to 71.30%. Okay, this value is positive, so it comes under means overproof. Okay, then here what they told, that means in the question they saying that this is 30 underproof. Okay, underproof means you have to subtract 100, means from the you have to subtract this value from 100. Okay, here basically you remember that overproof and underproof. Overproof means above the 100 and underproof means below the 100. If any value they give and they say that overproof, then you have to add that value in the 100, and if any value they give and they says underproof, then you have to subtract it. These are the basic rules. While solving problem, you should have to remember that. First one, what is proof spirit? Proof spirit means is nothing but which is it is an aqueous solution which contain 57.1 volume by volume, which is exactly equal to the 100%. Okay, then while calculating proof spirit, there are two rules. First, whatever the strength means percentage alcohol strength they give, you have to multiply with the 1.753, and from that product you have to deduct 100. And if that value resultant value is positive, then it is overproof, and if that resultant value is negative, then it is underproof. These are the basic things. And if in the problem they gave means in terms of proof, if they told that if that value is overproof, then you have to add that value in 100, and if they means they told that if the value is in underproof, then you have to minus that value from the 100. These are the basic things. Okay, then next next problem here. How many proof of gallon contains in a 6 gallon of 90% volume by volume alcohol? Okay, gallon is nothing but the empirical unit for the volume. Okay, so value of proof spirit is equal to percentage strength of alcohol into 1.753 minus 100. Percentage strength is 90, so putting value in the formula, 90 into 1.753 minus 100, which is equal to 157.77 minus 100. So resultant value is the 57.77 overproof. Okay, that means 100% of gallon of 90% alcohol, which is equal to 157.77 unit of proof spirit. Okay, see here, these are this is the 90%. Okay, and it's telling that 100 gallon of 90% means why it is 100, because this value is greater than the 100, means it's showing the overproof. That's why 90% of volume by volume alcohol which is exactly equal to the 157.77 unit of proof spirit. Okay, so 1 gallon, which is equal, from that we are able to calculate for the 1 gallon, for the 100 gallon. Okay, so 1 gallon is equal to 157.77 divided by 100. Okay, so don't solve it. Now we required for the 6 gallon. Okay, so just multiply this value with 6, so you will get the 9.4466 gallon of proof spirit. Means the 9.446 gallon contains 6 gallon of 90% of volume by volume alcohol. Okay, so you solve that, then you will get to know. See, these are the calculation part, and means while giving lecture online, it's somewhat tough to explain you, but I'm trying my best. So if you have any problem, then just drop a message. I will resolve it. Okay. So these are the example for proof spirit. In proof spirit, you basically consider these two rules, and according to that, you try to solve the problems. Okay. Then the third concept is dissociation constant. Okay, here what is in that means in that part we'll see what is meant by the dissociation constant, what is the need of dissociation constant, what is its application, how it means uh, what is the symbol for dissociation constant, and what is the difference between Ka and pKa. Okay, so suppose this is considered, this is a beaker. Okay, in that I added 100 ml of water first. Okay, and after that I add, this is one drug Ha that I add, and once that drug means added into the water, it having ability to dissociate itself. Okay, with the help of water. So Ha is dissociated into H plus plus A minus. These are the two ions of that drug. Okay, so basically dissociation constant is used to determine the amount of drug, ionized or unionized. This is the basic need or basic application for the dissociation constant. So dissociation constant is nothing but it is defined as the ratio between ionized form of a drug and unionized form of the drug in a solution. Dissociation constant ये क्या है, एक रेशियो है, वो क्या बताता है कि once the drug goes into the solution, the how much amount of that drug is ionized and how much amount is still remaining in the unionized form. This is the unionized form of that means drug, and this is the ionized form of the drug. Okay, so dissociation constant is nothing but the ratio between the ionized form of the drug and unionized form of the drug in a solution. Dissociation constant is denoted by the Ka. Okay, and what is the exact need of that dissociation constant while means in pharmaceutics or any in our pharmacy field? See, as we know that the ionized form of drug can't cross the biological membrane, but unionized drug easily cross the biological membrane and goes into the systemic circulation. That process is known as absorption. That all we know that. Okay, but but ionized forms are unable to go because of lipophilic membrane. Okay, and such a drug means whatever the form of ionized means whatever the ionized form that is eliminated from the body. Hence, how much quantity of drug get absorbed in the body and how much quantity of the drug is eliminated from the body, that calculated from the dissociation constant. Okay, that value or that amount of the drug is calculated from the dissociation constant. Okay, here see Ka is nothing but the dissociation constant. Now you see it is the ratio, so that value is in decimal. Okay, means this is the fraction value, so it is in decimal only. But and pKa is nothing but the negative log of Ka. Okay, what we are doing here, we are just converting this decimal into complete integer. How we are converting it? By taking the negative log of Ka. Okay, so pKa is nothing but it is no doubt it is dissociation constant value, means this is for dissociation constant only, but negative log of that value, so we'll get the complete integer. This is the basic difference. Okay, now here see the value of Ka is in decimal. How we convert the decimal value into complete integer integer number? By taking the negative log only. And one key rule means one key point is that means suppose any drug having dissociation constant is high, means large value, then that drug is eliminated from the body, means on in a large amount that drug eliminated from the body. Why? Because in such a case that drug contain less amount of unionized drug and maximum amount of ionized drug. So if the drug is in means if the maximum amount of drug is in ionized form, then it eliminated from the body because that form is unable to cross the biological membrane and it unable to goes into the systemic circulation. Okay, based on that means based on this Henderson Hasselbalch given two rules, means given his equation. Before that, we'll see the two scale. One is the pH and the second one is the pKa. Okay, so pKa is for the drugs and pH for the tissue. See here. Okay, these are the two scales. Okay, pH for the tissue and pKa for the drug. Means whatever the drug we came across, means in our field, whatever the drug we came across, that all means all fall under these categories only. Okay, so acidity and basicity of a drug is expressed in terms of dissociation constant, that is nothing but the pKa. Okay, and acidity and basicity of the tissue is expressed in terms of pH scale. Okay, and pH scale is discovered by Sorensen, that we know. Okay, what what that two scale tell, that two scale basically tell, that means this scale divide all drugs in four categories only. Okay, strong acidic drug, weak acidic drug, weak basic drug, and strong basic drug. Okay, and so this scale divide drugs in four categories, and this scale divide tissues in four categories. Okay, for pH scale, if we consider, it divides tissue in four categories like strong acidic tissue, weak acidic tissue, weak basic tissue, and strong basic tissue. If we consider in case of pK scale, means dissociation constant scale, it divides drug into strong acidic drug, weak acidic drug, weak basic drug, and strong basic drug. Okay, so what are the values for that? If the value means if the drug having pK value in between 1 to 3, then it comes under strong acidic drug. Okay, so such a drug are maximally eliminated from the body. Why? Because they having tendency to means undergo, such a drug having tendency to go under in the ionization. Okay, and maximum the ionization, then maximum amount of the drug is eliminated from the body. Okay, second one, weak basic drug. Okay, the pK value for weak basic drug is 4 to 7. Okay, if any drug having pK value and in between 4 to 7, then it comes under weak acidic drug. Okay, such a drug are maximally absorbed in the body. Why? Because maximum amount of that drug is in unionized form, and that easily cross the blood brain barrier and absorbed in the systemic circulation. Okay, then third one, weak basic drug. The drug having pK value in between 7 to 9, which is known as weak basic drug. These also the drug which are maximally absorbed in the body because they having weak tendency to accept proton, hence in the unionized form, means these drug don't get easily break. Okay, means or don't easily dissociate in their respective ions because they having the less tendency to accept the proton from solvent. Means suppose water is the solvent, then they having the tendency to accept the proton from the water. Okay, so they remains in the unionized form and they easily cross the biological membrane. And last is the strong basic drug. Any drug which having the pK value in between 9 to 14, then it comes under strong basic drug. Okay, so such a drug are maximally eliminated from the body. Here I have mistakenly, it is a typo error. These drugs are maximally eliminated from the body and they having the tendency to accept the proton, hence in ionized form. Okay, just I copy pasted, but I means didn't edited it, so that's why. So here you see that whatever the drug we studying, that all drugs comes under only two categories, weak acidic and weak basic, because in pharmaceutical or in a market only these two drugs are come because these two drugs having a maximum absorption, and because of that they giving a maximum efficacy. But these first and fourth one strong acidic and strong basic drugs, or okay, that drug don't have any pharmacological action, or don't they have pharmacological action but they don't have any pharmaceutical use because they eliminated from the body. Okay, and they means the desired concentration of that drug means didn't reach to the their target organ because they eliminated from the body. Okay, so this is the two scale you have to remember. Based on that scale they will ask a question, means they will give the value of any drug, means they will give pK value for that drug, and they will ask, means whether it is means in which solvent, or in which media it is maximally absorbed, or in which media it is maximally eliminated. That problem we'll see in the later, means succeeding slide. But here you should have, means you remember here only there are two scale for pH and pKa. pH scale is for the tissue and pKa scale is for the drug. Based on that scale, we divided the whole drugs into four categories. First one is the strong acidic drug. Second one is the weak acidic drug. Fourth one is the weak basic drug, and last one is the strong basic drug. Okay. So these are the four categories, and among the four categories, only two categories are, means most widely used, means whatever the drug we are studying, that all drugs comes under only two categories. Okay. Then next, see here, based on that we based on that scale we know that, means if any drug have to absorb more, means suppose any drug absorbing in the body in a more concentration, means in ionized form that drug is going into systemic circulation. But here one phenomena is that is like dissolve like. Okay. Means suppose acidic drug is there, then if acidic environment is there for that drug, then in that case the drug is remains its unionized form, and that form is get easily absorbed. Okay. Likewise in case of basic drug, if suppose any basic drug is there, and that drug getting a basic environment, okay, then that drug remains in the unionized form, and that get easily absorbed. Okay. Here simple funda is like dissolve like, means acidic drug is there, for that acidic environment is there, then it is get easily, means it is remains in the ionized form, and it get easily absorbed. Okay. But counter to that, if acidic drug is there and if we giving it in the basic environment, okay, then in that case most of the drug is get ionized. Okay, will get ionized, and that drug maximally eliminated from the body. These these two formulas you have to must remember, means here one basic funda is that the like dissolve like. If you understand this one, then you will know each and every point, means regarding Hasselbalch's equation, or what the equations, like for weak acidic drug there are different equations, weak basic drug, for that different equations are there, that you will get easily. Okay. So consider this example, aspirin here is equal to 3.5. Okay. So based on that, means based on the pK value, what we'll get to know that, we get to know that the aspirin is a strong acidic drug. Okay. See here in the scale the value is in between 3 3 3.5, means near to 3. So it comes under strong acidic drug. Okay. So what that drug having tendency to eliminate, means maximum eliminate from the body. Okay. But see here, in which area, if we consider, means if we consider aspirin, then according to our principle, here acidic drug dissolve in acidic environment, means and remains in unionized form and get easily absorbed. According to that principle, if aspirin drug is in acidic environment only, because this drug is acidic, and if it get the acidic environment, then that drug is remains in the unionized form and it will easily absorb. Okay. So what are the tissues that having the acidic pH? See here, 1 to 3 strong acidic tissues like stomach. Okay. As we like stomach, so pH having got, means stomach has a pH 1 to 3. So in that tissues, aspirin is maximum amount of aspirin is in ionized form, so from that it will get easily absorbed. But suppose that aspirin is in intestine, their pH is high. Okay. So means their basic pH is there. Okay. So in that case, that aspirin forcefully means OH forcefully pulled the electron, due to which aspirin get ionized. Okay, means the OH group from the aspirin is forcefully pulling the forcefully pulling the electron from the environment. So that's why aspirin get ionized up, and hence it is eliminated. Okay. Likewise, for morphine, you calculate and tell me. Okay. So here you just have to remember the means what is the dissociation constant, how it is denoted, what is its means what is its basic application, what is the difference between pK and Ka and pK. If any drug having a greater Ka value or greater pK value, what are the parameters affected then, means which properties, absorption, elimination, which properties are high, that you have to remember. Then what are the PS scale and PK scale, that you have to remember. Based on that, how many classes of the drug, that you have to remember here. And based upon that only, you have to, if in a exam they give PK value for any drug, then you have to means you have to understand in which part of the body, means in which tissue that drug will get easily absorbed, and in which part of the body that drug get easily eliminated. Okay, and these two you remember. This is the dissociation constant. Okay, under dissociation constant, next heading is that the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Okay, hello, hello.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, you are audible.
Yeah, you are following now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So whatever I am telling here means that concept you are getting. If you have any doubt, just ask. Okay. Or
Okay,
you
sir.
just drop a message. Then under dissociation constant, the next heading is the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Okay. What is means this is the scientist, means it is one of the he is one of the scientists, he was one of the scientists, and he gave the concept of dissociation constant. Based on that, he gave one expression for a weak acidic and weak basic drug. Okay, from that expression or from that mathematical formula, we are able to calculate means how much quantity of the drug is get absorbed in the body, and how much quantity of the drug eliminated from the body. Okay, so Henderson-Hasselbalch equation state that ionized form of drug and unionized form of a drug depend on pK value, nothing but the dissociation constant value of a drug, and pH of the surrounding tissue. Okay, means what has Henderson-Hasselbalch equation telling that? It's telling that the drug means any drug, for that you have to calculate, means you have to determine the ionized quantity of drug and ionized quantity of drug. So okay, so that quantity how we will calculate, or that quantity on which parameter they are depend, that they are depend on the pK of the drug, means the value you are means the value calculating for the drug. Okay, for that means the pK value for that drug, and the pH of the surrounding, means in which surrounding, either it is a basic or acidic, in which surrounding that drug is present. Based on that, means that ionized form and unionized form of the drug is calculated. Okay, so next, according to Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, it is giving a means explanation for only two categories of drug. Okay, because according to pKa scale, we divided drugs into four categories: strong acidic drug, weak acidic drug, strong basic drug, weak basic drug, and strong basic drug. Okay, but this equation is applicable to only weak acidic drug and weak basic drug, because their ionization or their dissociation is depend on the surrounding. Okay, but in case of strong acid drug and strong basic drug, they having a intrinsic property. Okay, means intrinsic property, they don't, means for their dissociation they doesn't depend on any other media or any other surrounding. So this equation is not applicable for that drug. So this is the major limitation. This equation is applicable only for the weak acidic drug and weak basic drug, but not applicable for strong acidic drug and strong basic drug. Because ionization of such a drug does not depend on the surrounding. Means the ionization of strong acidic drug and strong basic drug does not depend on the surrounding. This is the limitation for Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Okay. This is the mathematical expression for Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. pH is equal to pKa plus log of ionized form of drug, I nothing but the ionized form of drug, and Ui is nothing but the unionized form of drug. Okay. So from that mathematical expression, there are different equation for weak acidic drug and for weak basic drug. Okay. So from this, again 6 equation are get derived. Okay, for that different derivations are there, but here we only see the final equations. Okay, and we have to mug up these equation only. Okay, we don't require that derivation, or in your exam they won't ask that derivation and all. Just you have to remember these equations, because based on that equation only you have to solve the problems. Okay, just a minute. So based on this mathematical expression, weak acidic drug get a 3 means for weak acidic drug 3 equations are there, for weak basic drug 3 equations are there. See here, you means kindly observe the equations. Okay, if we here observe the equations, then if you remember only equations for weak acidic drug, then you automatically write equations for the weak basic drug. How? You see here. Okay, pH is equal to pKa plus log of ionized form of drug divided by unionized form of drug. Okay, this is the equation for calculation of pH or any value. Okay, so this is for weak acidic drug. If you want to write the equation for weak basic drug, same equation, just change in the means ionized form of drug and unionized form of drugs, means numerator and denominator, that you have to change. Okay, see here, pH is equal to pKa plus log of unionized form of drug divided by ionized form of drug. For weak acidic drug, ionized form is in upper side, and for weak basic drug, unionized form is in upper side. So see, in each subject, here I am telling just one general concept. You study any subject from, okay, in that some points are there. If you remember only one point, okay, so automatically you get the second point. Okay, so don't try to mug up to both the points. Okay, means both the points, just mug up or just memorize one point, then automatically you will able to write the second point. This is the smart skill for the study. Okay, and likewise here you see, if you mug up these formulas, then automatically you will write these formulas. Okay, then the formula for percent ionization, which is equal to 100 divided by 1 plus 10 pKa minus pH. This is for weak acidic drug. Here for weak basic drug, pH minus pKa. Likewise, for the urine plasma ratio, 1 plus 10 raised to pH minus pKa divided by 1 plus 10 raised to pH minus pKa. Just that means pKa minus pH, that you have to means convert in the weak basic drug. Okay, so based on this expression, means based on this formula, again there we get 6 formulas. Okay, and from that 6 formula we have to calculate the problems that we'll see in the succeeding slide. Okay, so here what you have to remember, just what is meant by Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, and what is the limitation for that you have to remember. So based on that formula we'll see the examples. See, first one, if the pK value of lidocaine is 7.9 and the pH of the infected tissue is 8.9, what is the ionized what is the ionized what is the fraction of drug available in the ionized form? Okay, so first what I told, whenever you are solving the problem, just see the question, and from that you segregate the data. given in the question. Once you segregate the data, then you get to know that means what you have to calculate, what data they give, and for that which formula you should have to used. So in that means in this question or in this problem, they gave the pK value for lidocaine. Okay, what is the value? 7.9. And they gave the pH of the infected tissue. Okay, means that tissue which is 8.9. Okay, so from that you have to calculate. What you have to calculate? Ionized form of the drug, means how much amount of that drug is get ionized. Okay, so first you see means uh, based on that pK value, this drug comes under which category? Okay, we based on the dissociation constant, we divided drugs into four categories. So this is 7.9. Okay, so this drug comes under weak basic drug. Okay, so what is the equation for that? Percent ionization is equal to 100 divided by 1 plus 10 pH minus pK. Okay, so just put the values whatever you given in the question and calculate. See, 100 divided by 1 plus 10 raised to 8.9, which is the pH of that tissue, and minus 7.9, that is the pK value for that drug, which is equal to 100 divided by 1 plus 10 raised to 1, which is equal to 100 divided by 10, which is approximately okay equal to 100 divided by 10. And if we solve that ratio, then it is 10%. Means what is the percent ionization? 10%. Means it is that 10% is nothing but the available fraction of a drug in a ionized form. Okay, if that lidocaine has a pK value 7.9 and the infected tissue having pH is 8.9, okay, then the percent ionization for lidocaine is 10%. Okay, like that. See, in next, when the urinary pH becomes 8, okay, which of the drug, means which of the following drug excreted significantly? Okay, we saw two basic principles there, means two basic principles likewise like means like dissolve in like, that you have to remember in such a case. Okay, suppose what in question what they ask means which of the following drugs is excreted significantly, means eliminated from the body significantly, and they gave the urinary pH, okay, 8. So first two drug, okay, miferamine and morphine. If we see the pK value for that drug, they comes under weak basic drug. Okay, and the pH of 8 means weak pH, weak basic pH. Okay, so here like dissolve like. So these drugs are basic drugs, so they can't eliminate it from the urine. Okay, why? Because in such a case they are in maximum form of that drug is in unionized form. Okay, but on other hand side, if you see in case of aspirin, the pK value for aspirin is 3.5. Okay, and pH of urine is 8. Okay, so aspirin is a strong acidic drug. Okay, and this is the basic environment. Okay, so if any drug, means any strong acidic drug is in weak basic environment, then that drug is get maximally eliminated. Okay, so among these three drugs, aspirin gets significantly excreted from the means from the body. So here basic application is that you have to first remember the four classes for the drug and four classes for the tissues based on pKa and pH scale respectively. Okay, after that means one principle, that is like dissolve like, means so the base acidic drug acidic environment, unionized form maximum absorption, basic drug basic environment, unionized form maximum absorption. If we do it in a counterwise, means acidic drug basic environment, ionized form maximum elimination. Okay, likewise that you have to remember here. If you are able to remember that one, then easily you will solve these problems. Okay, Then third example, which of the following drug has highest degree of ionization in aqueous solution? Okay, see here. First one is the endomethacin, second one is the warfarin, aspirin, and ibuprofen. Okay, now go with their pK values. See here, 4.51, oh, sorry, 4.5, 4.5, 3.5, 5.2. Okay, among that means these three drugs, ibuprofen, warfarin, and endomethacin, has similar, means nearby similar, okay, pK value, and that comes under weak acidic drug. Okay, so aqueous solution means you know the pH of water. What is the pH for water? It is 7. Okay, so these value are near to 7. So the near to 7. So these drugs are in ionized form in water. Maximum concentration or maximum amount of that drug is in ionized form in the water. But if we consider aspirin, this is 3.5. Okay, so it is somewhat far from the that pH, means water pH. What is the pH for water? It is 7. So in that case, the aspirin is the drug which get ionized or which has the maximum or highest degree of ionization in aqueous solution. Practically it not happen because we are taking aspirin with the water, that is exception. But if it means if we go with the theoretical or with the this formula, then it is in this case aspirin is the drug which having the highest degree of ionization in aqueous solution. Okay, hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
You're audible.
you are getting now
No, can you please repeat the last one?
this one. Yeah,
Using number 3.
see here. This is the what in the problem what they are asked. Which of the following drug has highest degree of ionization in an aqueous solution? Okay, aqueous solution is nothing but the water. Okay, so here you have to means here you have to know that what is the pH for water. The pH for water is 7. Okay, so with respect to that pH, amongst these four drugs, which drug has highest degree of ionization? Okay, so the pH means water pH is 7, that is basic. Okay, then here you have value of pK, means based on that value you can segregate the drug in four different classes. So based on that we know that means endomethacin, warfarin, and ibuprofen has weak acidic pH. Okay, sorry, weak acidic pK, means these are weak acidic drug. So these drug are means in a less quantity, means if you dissolve these drugs in a water, then ionization of that drug is less as compared to aspirin because this is strong acidic drug. Okay, so this is the difference, and for this question aspirin is the answer. Okay, then next, just a minute, huh? Yeah, see here. Next problem. Flurazepam has pK value 8.2. What percent of flurazepam will be ionized at a urine pH of 5.2? Okay. See here. In the problem, what they gave the pK value of flurazepam. Then they what they gave next? They gave the pH of urine, which is 5.2. And what you have to calculate? You have to calculate the percent ionization of the flurazepam. Same. You just put the first you means first you divide the flurazepam in that four categories, means in which category that drug is coming. Based on that pK value, you get to know that flurazepam is a weak basic drug. Okay, because this pK the value of pK is 8.2 and it comes under the class 3, that is weak basic drug. Okay, so just put the values in the formulas, and we know the formula for the basic drugs, different formulas for percent ionization, for urine plasma ratio, for pH. From that you take the formula for weak basic drug. and then you put the value here. Just what is the pH? 5.2. What is the pK? 8.2. Then you calculate it. It comes to 100 divided by 1.0.001. 0.001 means the near to 0, and any value you are writing just 100. Yeah, if you divide any value with 1, there is no significant, means there is no any what we tell that any value or any significance for that. So uh, percent ionization of is 100%. Okay, so from that what you get to know that, see, if the pH of the drug is, sorry, pH of the tissue is acidic, okay, weak acidic, okay, this drug is weak basic, okay, so here counter reaction is there, means weak basic drug, weak acidic environment, okay, the in that case drug 100% drug will goes in ionized form, means maximum for amount of the drug get ionized and that drug is eliminated. So here you get the percent ionization value is 100%. So what it means that, it means that maximum amount of drug near to 100%, okay, that drug is eliminated from the body because his surrounding environment is opposite to his class, means or his nature. That drug is weak basic drug, but surrounding environment is weak acidic environment. So because of that, this drug is get, means maximally get eliminated from the body. So once you go with the above concept, whatever we learn under the Anderson-Hasselbalch equation, then you will understand the, means in what cases drug will get maximally absorbed, in what case drug will get maximally eliminated. Okay, and then next one is what will be the urine plasma ratio for weak acidic drug having pK value 5. Okay, so here sometimes means in the question only they give urine pH, what is the urine pH and what is the uh, plasma pH. Okay, but in some question they won't give such a data. So in that case you have go with the physiological pH of the respective body secretion. Okay, means suppose here they already give, but if they don't give, then you have to means you have to know that what is the physiological pH for the urine and what is the physiological pH for the plasma. So just you first from the pKa value, you means from pKa value you segregate that drug in the 4 class, in which class that comes under, or here they already mentioned weak acidic drug. Okay, so we take the formula for, means for the urine plasma ratio we'll take the formula from weak acidic drug. Okay, so urine plasma ratio, urine by plasma, which is equal to 1 plus 10 raised to pH minus pK divided by 1 plus pH minus pK. Okay, just put the value in the formulas and if you calculate, then it is 2 divided by 101, means, see, ultimate your answer is 2 divided by 1, means urine to plasma ratio is 2 is to, just a minute, sorry, here from this means from this ratio what you get to know that 2 is to 1. Okay, means in the urine 2% drug is present and in the plasma 101% drug is present. Okay, means maximum concentration of drug present in the plasma. From that what you know, means what you know, from that you conclude that the maximum concentration of drug in plasma means the maximum drug get absorbed. Okay, because in the urine less concentration is there and maximum concentration is the present in the plasma. So from that ratio will, means from that ratio we get to know that this drug having the maximum absorption. Okay, these are the means these are the problem related to the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, which comes under the dissociation constant. Okay, because majorly this Henderson-Hasselbalch equation is revolving or it explaining the dissociation constant for the drug. So in that case, you should have to means you have to remember what is the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, what are the different equations for weak acidic drug and weak basic drug, what are the different classes of the drug based on their pK value, what are the different classes of the tissues based on the pH of the tissue, and from that, by applying that knowledge, you will able to solve these questions. Okay, now we'll move towards the next, means next part of the today's lecture, that is dilution. Okay, just a minute. Sorry to interrupt you. I will just save that means save this recording and we'll again start with the dilution. Okay, just give me a 1 minute.